What is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more RE4 Remake gameplay for you. And today I'm going to be talking about my impressions, my opinion on the latest Silent Hill 2 Remake gameplay that was shown off at yesterday's State of Play, as well as the Silent Hill transmission itself. Now, I feel like I speak for everybody in this. I am happy to know that we finally have a release date, which will be October the 8th later this year. So finally we have a date we can look forward to, and barring that there's no delays or complications, we finally can count down the days to eventually play this thing. But without further ado, let's get into the other big thing that people want to see outside the release date, and that was some more gameplay and information on it. Now, when we had the initial reveal early this year in terms of the combat trailer, a lot of people were really put off by that, and I definitely could see where that was coming from, because the whole execution of that whole trailer just seemed really just random. It was all over the place. It seemed like one of those trailers, I mentioned it when it happened in my earlier video talking about it. It just seemed like one of those things you put together right before a game release with just random assortment of sequences. That's basically at that point where it's like, everyone's already seen the bulk of this stuff. It's just there just to get more new stuff out there or see it from different perspectives. But it didn't seem like a well-made trailer altogether, and it kind of gave the impression that Bloober Team and Konami were not on the same page. And the problem with that is that you're not just remaking any game, you're remaking one of the all-time greats of the genre, so you better damn well be on the same page, because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if anyone can honestly pull this off in terms of what most Silent Hill 2 fans want them to do. I don't know if that's even really possible with any, studio, developer, publisher just pulling it off. I just feel like it's more of an impossible dream in terms of the extent people want it to be done. I just feel like, I'll just say this right now, I think it'll be a solid game. I don't know if people are going to be sitting there saying it's going to be anywhere near what the original is. I just feel like that's just damn near impossible. But you can have a solid game. But the hardest thing for me personally, and I've always thought this in terms of horror games, and it's hard for me to explain this, but I'll do it the best I can. I won't know about the game, whether it's going to be good or not, until I have the controller in my hands. And that is the feel of them. The feel of a horror game. I feel like more than any other genre. Like, you can watch gameplay of other games, like, first-person shooters, puzzle games, platformers, but the feeling you get when you play a horror game, and God, that you want to talk about a snipe with a shotgun. Holy crap. But the feel of a horror game, you can't get that by watching other people play or watching gameplay. It's only until you put the controller in your hand, because there's a lot of horror games that look great, watching them, but when you put the controller in your hand, you went to play, it just didn't convey the feeling that you were expecting it to convey. So, and I think that's the most important thing for any horror game, is that feeling you have. So, long story short, I won't know until I play it. That's what I was kind of hoping. I knew it wouldn't happen. I was hoping for some type of, maybe a little demo or something. They probably won't release that, if there even will be a demo, until like a month beforehand, not this far off, but it's that feeling you get, and that's the hardest thing for me to explain, because I can't do it by simply watching it. Which leads me to the next part, and it goes back to that original trailer earlier this year, the combat. Now, if you are new to Silent Hill, the franchise, especially those earlier 4 titles, combat was never the thing about these games. It was not, it's definitely no RE4, definitely, and thank God for it. Combat was more a means of a last resort, a desperation. Because, as I said, James is no Leon. He's just a normal guy put into a very bad situation. So, he's going to react like a normal guy. And if you think, well, maybe a better comparison would be like how, someone like, I don't know, like an Ethan was in Resident Evil 7, no, you'd be wrong in that too, because even he looks pretty extraordinary. No, you are a pretty normal guy. So combat is very, very, very... it's not going to look good. And it's not supposed to look good. And I know that may throw a lot of people off, but it's going to be rough, rugged. My thing was, and I remember watching the original thing and watching here, is I'm just hoping that at the end of the day, you find whatever weapons you can. Ammunition is scarce. The melee thing with the board, granted, it's not something that's supposed to look good, look pretty. I just hope there isn't, and I don't know if this is something they're going to do. I really hope they're not. I just hope that everything you find, you use it, it's scarce, but I hope there's nothing to upgrade and improve yourself. I just hope it's just, that rough, rugged feeling from beginning to end, because I know they'll probably think in today's world, hey, we got to give improvements in terms of increasing stuff like durability and stuff like that, increase the board's durability, make it do more. No, make it be rough, because once again, you want to avoid the combat. You want to preserve yourself until you absolutely have no choice. That's the whole thing. And when you explore, the whole premise, you're taking chances. You don't know what's behind every dark corridor, and you might find something really good, or you might find yourself a hallway to hell. So that's half the fun. I know a lot of people might have a hard time grasping that, but I really hope they have that desperation in the combat too, in terms of, hey, you know what? Sometimes it's just better to get the hell out of Dodge, and you can't fight everything. And a lot of times you are going to be running around. I know a lot of people might think, hey, that's not fun, but this is how those horror games were back in the day. You weren't fighting every damn thing you saw. But once again, I won't know. And that's the board thing. That's going to be the hardest thing for me to gauge, because I'll admit it didn't look the greatest in terms of watching it in gameplay, but I won't know until I have the controller in my hands. It's basically what I'm going to say. So hopefully we can get that sometime or later, but once again, I won't know until I actually play it. The next thing, and I've seen a lot of people get really upset about this, is with certain characters. Now, for Angela, I'm not going to get too much in terms of the look. I know a lot of people say, oh, what's wrong with the face? And I get it. I'm more concerned if they do the character right. So we'll have to see. I can't tell by what we see if they're going to do it right or not. But yeah, I get the face. Now, the Maria one, I definitely understand that. That one I definitely can get, just because of, if you don't know, I won't spoil it for people who don't know, but yeah, her redesign just doesn't fit that character. I think someone made a good point. When you have something you really like and you expect it to look like a certain way, and then you change it over all these years, and I know some people might think, oh, well, it's not the word. It's not that it's bad. It just doesn't make sense for that specific character. So I get that critique, and they should have just probably kept it the same for that instance, for that specific character, for obvious reasons. But it is what it is. We'll have to see if they can rectify some of that. But that, I definitely get that criticism. But one thing you won't hear me criticize, and I think a lot of people are in grill this, is that I think they nailed the atmosphere. It looks like Silent Hill 2. Now, granted, sometimes it may look like it, but can it feel like it? As I said, I can't answer that because I'm only watching it. I won't know until I play it. But the environments look like Silent Hill. I like the hospital. I like the streets, the fogginess of them. I can't wait to have these great puzzles, because once again, I love those old school puzzles in terms of just, we didn't really see any of them in this one, the gameplay, but I can't wait to go back, revisit those really hard, frustrating puzzles where you really got to explore to find the clues to figure them out. I know a lot of people may get put off by that, but that's how old school puzzles were, so I can't wait for that. Can't wait to hear that Silent Hill music, because it has a very distinct way and does its music. It's really, really iconic and really well done. I believe they said they're going to have some new tracks mixed in as well as from the Goat himself doing it, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, once again, I'll say this. I feel better about it than the January reveal, whenever that early combat reveal was. I feel better about it. I'm not quite there yet, but once again, a lot of my trepidation is just more, it's just how I am personally. I won't know until I have the controller in my hand, and that's the biggest thing, because there's a lot of horror games that they look great when you watch them, but then when you finally put the controller in your hand, they don't pan out. Now, granted, they don't all have the same build up as this one. I mean, it's a remake of one of the all-time great survival horror games. So that's a completely different pressure you got put on them. And as I said, I wish them the best of luck because it's an impossible battle. And I'll just say right now, there's no way they're going to be able to please everyone. There's going to be people disappointed. And I get it, understand. Some things I definitely do understand it because I do agree with it. At the end of the day, I just hope it's a solid game. Because one thing I do want is, while I do like seeing remakes, I do want to see brand new titles. Because I was a little disappointed we didn't get any of the newer Silent Hill games. I want them to prove they can make newer Silent Hill games. I do enjoy remakes, and maybe I'll talk more about my opinion on remakes as we keep seeing more and more in today's gaming world. But I do want to see brand new ideas and titles be made in the franchise. But as I always like to say, that's my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. What did you feel about the whole Silent Hill 2 presentation? Did you like it, not like it, or you're not sold? You want to wait and see? Let me know the things that resonate with you and the things that didn't resonate with you. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Peace.